Hello, and welcome to Design to Manifest, the podcast. I'm your host, Catherine Wentworth. Design to Manifest features conversations with creatives, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, healers, and visionaries who have turned their ideas into reality. Welcome, everybody. Today, joining me is one of my dearest DJ brothers, Moses Truzman, who is a Los Angeles-based DJ and producer performing under the name Audio Mo. Moses is not only an incredible talent behind the decks, but he's also an accomplished TV and film composer, bringing a cinematic edge to everything he creates. He's played at some of the most high-profile events in the world, including the Oscars and the Grammys. And you can also catch him DJing at hotspots, Soho House, Sky Bar, and many more. On top of that, he serves as the creative director at Level 8 in downtown Los Angeles, where he's shaping the brand and image of one of the most exciting venues. Audio Mo, thank you for being here and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Ken. It's really nice to see you.
So good to see you too. And thank you for taking the time to do this. So I'd like to open up with asking you, what does Design to Manifest mean to you?
Design to manifest, because I do love the concept of manifestation. I would say design to manifest for me is having a real need to create. And in that need to create, you essentially create opportunities. You manifest opportunities for yourself. I have a real need to create in a lot of different spaces. And I feel like that genuine passion and desire for those things before any jobs or opportunities or anything, just I genuinely loved it with everything in my heart. Those things were manifested towards me. I kind of cut out a lot of the noise and said, these are the things I really love in life. And those found their way to me.
So, Mo, when you were a little boy, were you like, I'm going to grow up and live in Los Angeles and be a high profile DJ and I'm going to make all this cool art and music and photography and videos? And I mean, did you know that this is what you wanted to do?
I've been creative day one. Like they knew, like really, really early. Like I actually skipped the first grade. I had a real I was drawing like right out the gate. My mom's an unbelievable, she's a beautiful illustrator. She's incredible. And I just knew like there was no, I knew my path pretty early. I didn't know LA, but I knew I've never even held a job that wasn't creative. Like that's just, I, my first passion was always illustration, drawing, art. That was my first thing. And then I got into music. Like, you're 13. I want to start playing the drums. And then that became it. But those two kind of ran in tandem, pretty like white hot. But, you have to get a job, this and that. So I got into art direction for advertising.
So, let me ask you a question. I want to back up for a second. You
Sure.
said the drums. So, as you know, many DJs are,
Yeah. It's
they
all rhythmic. It's all, if I meet another, because I have friends of mine that are DJs that are also drummers, it's a cheat code of sorts. I have made mistakes while playing that just land correctly because you just have an internal rhythm. Like that's just I do everything in life as a drummer because I play other instruments but the drums, literally that is like the center of everything for me.
And how did you get into being a drummer? Were you like, I just love beats, or were you like, I want to pick up girls and get into a band? What was, I don't know. Why
No,
did you?
I mean, I wish I sounded that cool. No, I just like saw drummers and I had other friends and like I got kind of lucky that this friend wanted to play the guitar and that friend wanted to do this. And then I was like, well, I want to play the drums. I remember I didn't even have a full drums. I had a friend of mine who just had an extra kick drum and a hi-hat. And I would just play the kick drum and the hi-hat. Like like I had a 20-piece kit. And then I saved up and I bought the drums. And then 6 hours a day. Like my friends would come over to hang out and they would just hang out to watch me practice. And it just became like when you're a kid, you want that identity so bad. You just like, what's my thing? And I was like, this is my thing. I still played sports and did all that other stuff, but like that was it. Like I was the kid air drumming everywhere. I was a guy walking around high school with his drumsticks in his backpack. Like I was that dude.
And from that, when you were drumming, when you were obsessed with being a drummer, did you play in bands? Like, did
Every
you
band on the planet. I played I played in every band on the planet. I played in high school bands. I was also playing with, like, guys much older than me, so I was, like, looking to see who everything. I was living in Miami at the time, so I would, as a 15-year-old, be going to, like, 21 and over clubs to sneak into open mic nights, to play with, like, adult ass people, like, you know what I mean? And, like, I just obsessed, completely obsessed. God bless my mom. She drove me everywhere, to every show, everything. Anytime I was like, "I wanna do this, I wanna play this show," she's like, "Pack up the drums, I got to."
your family was very supportive of your creative passion for drumming because your mother was an artist and that was something that is so important in manifesting a creative
Yeah, she
career.
was she was she was anything that I've ever wanted to do, she's always been like, "Absolutely, go for it." My father's much more traditional. He has a high appreciation from the arts, and I actually got all of my, like, photography, video, all that love came directly from him. But as a career, he was like, "Absolutely not, this is crazy." So he warmed up to it much, much, much later. But my mom, yeah, she was just the absolute greatest. When I wanted to go watch a drum clinic, I wanted to go to the drum I used to like just hanging out in drum stores. Like, I just wanted to go on Saturday morning to go to the drum store to be, like, surrounded by all the kits and, like, who was gonna come in and just to kinda, like, jam with other drummers that were in the room. She's the best. She's really the greatest.
So when you were playing drums and you know you're in high school and then a little bit later on, what was the shift for you into because mentioned that you went into advertising. So was that something, that other people were like, "Oh, what are you going to do as a backup plan?" It's so funny. I have a bad joke about drummers
Oh,
and
do tell.
what is a drummer without a girlfriend?
Oh god, what?
Homeless. It's bad. It's really bad. So, but the joke is on me because I actually said that one time in a group of people that I was helping art direct their band photo. And the drummer, we were like waiting for everyone to come into the meeting on Zoom and I didn't really know anything about their background. I just knew about the music and then they needed help with art direction. So I said that joke because we're waiting for everyone and the drummer was there and everyone's like ha ha ha. Later on I find out that his family and him they're one of the most prolific real estate investors in all of Los Angeles. So our next meeting was at his multi-million dollar home.
Joke
So
on you.
the joke was on me. Yes. Can you share a little bit about like your journey from becoming a drummer and then going into more of a traditional career and that whole journey?
Yeah, I mean, look, for all until graduation, I was like drums and this and that and music and everything. But I really did always pursue art at the same time. It was just very two flavor paths. And then I got to college and I was actually thinking about studying architecture because I really did love architecture. And I took an advertising class as as an elective, and I just did like shockingly well. And the teacher pulled me over. She's like, "Hey, you don't belong here." She's like, "There's a school in Miami Beach called the Miami Ad School. It just specializes in art directors and copywriters. That's it. You're an art director." And I was like, "Okay, cool. This is, I didn't even really, it was not even like on the plan or anything. And this was like a really hard school to get into. They only accepted like 20 kids a year. And I went and I got into the school and advertising is it's a real passionate if you talk to people who work in advertising, especially on like on a creative level, it's it's a thing. Once you get into the culture, it's your life. It's an unbelievable job. I have to say, if you're going to be a creative and you need to balance that line of art and commerce, advertising is so great. It's really fun. I had so much fun. I ended up graduating from there. I graduated with a team book. I became very close friends with somebody, and him and I just got each other. He's a copywriter. I'm an art director, I don't know if you know, but it works in teams. So when you're working at an ad agency, if you're the copywriter, you get assigned an art director, and then you guys work together on briefs. And him and I during school just both got each other's humor, but it just got it, right? So we're like, we'll just graduate with a team book. And we did. And we ended up getting a job at Deutsch Advertising in New York.
Wow.
Yeah, Donnie hired us. It's actually, you want to hear a funny story? So we submitted our book and they said, we're sorry, we're not accepting junior copywriters. But Steve, the guy who I was working with, he was working as a pool boy. And Donnie Deutsch is at the pool. And he comes up and he said, because they had just won Advertising Agency of the Year. And he goes, oh, thank you so much. Congratulations, you won. Da da da. My partner and I, we submitted to you guys, but you said you're not looking for junior copywriters. He goes, come to New York next week. Let's talk about it. Go to New York. We had a bunch of meetings lined up. Deutsch was last, and that was our one. But like, we want to work for Deutsch. We get to the office, but we got a meeting with Donnie Deutsch. We're all excited. They're like, he has an emergency meeting. He has to go. So we leave our book. And we're like a little let down. We get home. I get to my place. Steve calls me. He's like, are you sitting down? He's like, yeah, there was an offer from Donnie Deutsch on my machine. They flew us up. They moved us out there, and then it worked in Deutsch, New York. And it was really like a dream come true.
Amazing. How old were you at this point?
I was 24, 25, and then went to work in New York,
Wow.
which I'm from New York. So it was really great to like be able to come back.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, you manifested that. Like, wow.
I look to again, I to that to your opening question, I'm like, I manifested it, but just by being so passionate about so pure and like this is what I love and what I want to do and da da da. And then you have to like to a certain degree let go and let the universal forces kind of get in there and do their own thing.
When you got the offer and when you moved to New York, what was that like? Just share about that experience.
Look, honestly, it was the greatest. I got to work on great projects. I worked on Snapple and Bank One. Do you know Will Arnett from the actor Will Arnett? Got to hire him to be the voiceover for all of like just cool stuff. I honestly, I had the absolute best experience. That's actually why I ended up. So I kind of like not let go of DJing, but like I had made a shift. Worked at Deutsch, loved it, loved everything about it, loved the culture, loved the craziness, loved the like just they were so good about being creative, push harder, how much more interesting can you be? Like they really were a great creative partner. And then while I was working there, I guess two things happened. One, I ended up going to some really cool bar not far from where I lived, and I saw a DJ there, and I was like, "This place is dope!" Like I just loved everything about it. I walked in, and like as a DJ, when you walk into certain rooms, you're just like, "Oh, it's happening right here. This is it." But the more important take of it is that I met so I get there and there's the coolest looking Rastafarian dude you've ever seen. British Rastafarian. He's like not even a real human, like cool on the coolest level of the coolest of the coolest. And him and I end up connecting and we're cool and da da da. And I'm like, man, this is great. He's like, oh yeah, I'm doing this. It's Sunday nights. Come back every Sunday night. I go to work the next day and he's walking through my office.
What?
And I'm like, what are you doing here, Chris? He's like, oh, I'm a photographer. He's like, yeah, I'm here to shoot a campaign for Deutsch. That turned into like one of the best friendships. A British Rastafarian dude, by the way, like the coolest just human on earth. And he's like a brother of mine. Of course, he was like, come DJ with me. And that sparked my whole New York run of DJing while working at the ad agency, and then it was such a beautiful artistic community to like get involved in.
Mo, I was going to say that's called being in the flow.
It felt very flow. I have to say it felt very flow, very serendipitous, very like meeting the people I was supposed to meet in this chapter. Then I met a friend of mine who was a director, and I would always still had the itch to get back into like writing music and working on music. And this director was like, hey, I'm doing a play. Would you be interested in writing the music for the play? And I was like, absolutely. Are you kidding? So now I'm kind of involved in that world and everything's kind of just flowing. But because of that, just to be really honest, going back to the office was starting to feel less exciting. And I was like, I'm doing these things that are just white hot all the time. And I was like, okay, I think I'm going to pack up I had friends that lived in LA, and I was like, I'm going to take all this and see if I can do it on the West Coast. So I stayed in New York for about 3 years doing that and then moved out here.
So, in that time, whenever you were living in New York and working at the ad agency, were you DJing before then?
I was DJing in school in Miami Beach. So I was playing all over South Beach. Like, so how I even got into DJing is ridiculous. I was in bands, playing in bands, all the bands, and one of my friends who was also a drummer, and him and I also to this day, brothers, brothers, brothers. He's like, Mo, I got a gig. I need you to DJ for me. And I'm like, "Oh, what are you talking about? DJ for you? I don't know how to DJ. He's like, this was when it was on CDs. He was like, bring all of your favorite CDs. I'm going to teach you how to use the equipment. I need you to play for me. I can't lose this gig. I'm like, okay, all right, I got you. Mind you, this is like super hot club in Miami. It's all the things. And end of the night, the owner's like, man, we really liked you. Your friend just lost his job. And I was like, what? And I called, his name is Joe. He's like, don't worry about it. It's all good. But from playing that place, I literally learned on the job. I did not know how to DJ at all. I didn't know beat matching. I didn't know anything. I just love music like crazy. So I had a lot of music because I love music. And from working that place, someone from another club would come on and hang out. He's like, hey, man, we got open Thursday night. You want to come do Thursday night? And next thing I know, I'm opening for like Kenny Dope and like Felix the House Cat and learning from them. Being terrible, I would like to just say. I was not good at all. I had good taste in music, but like the art of what it is to do it properly, did not know at all. I had Kenny Dope. I opened for Kenny Dope, was doing well, and then just started horrifically bombing. And he was so kind. He pulled me over. He's like, hey man, just so you know, that's good. You got to let the room breathe. And he was I was like getting lessons from Kenny, bombing, by the way, just horrifically bombing. But from doing that, then went to New York, and then but the guy I was telling you about at that bar, he was playing all vinyl. So then the vinyl obsession kicks in, and now you start to become that dude, and you're like, I'm everywhere, and I'm buying vinyls, and I can't stop, and then now I can't wait to get to the club on Sunday to play what I found, and like that whole universe of things.
It's so funny that you are telling me this story. I never knew that about your first DJ gig, like your first big, DJ gig, because it's very similar to my story where Lot 61, I had been playing like in my friend's studio and just kind of, playing around in a little bar and just learning from other people. And then he called me, my friend Lizzie, the only English cat I knew in New York, who was a
They're
DJ,
just
of
better.
course.
They're
They're
just
just, yeah,
cooler than everybody.
they just know. Every English person I know who's a dude pretty much DJs. But he was like, Kat, I want you to go and play Lot 61 for me, which was one of the hot spot clubs. I have another gig because
You
he
had
was
never
doing.
touched the decks in your life.
No, I had been DJing in my friend's studio and I had been DJing in my friend's bar with them and just kind of
Low
learning
key
and
stuff. Here.
yeah, low key stuff, like very low key, like just kind of playing around. But I'd never DJ'd on my own, much less like a nice club or, a celebrity spot. So it was very similar in your story that he called me to cover for him because he had another gig because he did the hot party. It was called Thursdays, Not Fridays at Lot 61 in New York City. And after a while, that night had become not so popular. So he had taken another gig that paid more. And he's like, I want you to go there and cover for me. So I went and covered for him, not knowing how to beat match, not, just a selector with my CDs. And at the end of the night, the manager asked me to be the resident DJ on Friday nights at Lot 61. And then from there, I got Bungalow 8 and then Marquee, and it just grew from there. So it's being in the
Was your
flow. And
friend
you
cool
were,
with it? Was he okay? Was he cool about it?
I mean, he still had his Thursday night there. He wasn't the DJ on Fridays. It's more about everybody supporting each other. Lizzie, he was so funny too, because he was like, if you come to this club and help me and my girlfriend, it was called Remedy in the Lower East Side. And he's like, if you come to our party and help us decorate, I'll let you DJ. He never let me DJ that night. But eventually there's something that came up and he let me cover for him. And then I, got Lot 61. So it's interesting of being in the flow. So I just want to go back to like your first DJ gig in this like
Sure.
really fancy club and everything like that. So from like how long from that time to you moving to Los Angeles, deciding to leave New York, right? 3 years you were in New York, moving to LA, and then it actually becoming a career for you here as a DJ where you're like, this is my full-time gig.
Huh. It's interesting because I have to be honest, I've been very lucky along the way. Like, I remember I moved here, I was living on a sofa. I was living on my friend's sofa, and we had went to a sushi bar in Brentwood. And I get in there, and this place is it's crazy. It's like it's happening. It's like one of those places you're like, "What is happening here?" Mind you, I'm coming from New York, so I'm like, "Why is this sushi bar exploding right now? Like, what's going on?" And there's a DJ booth, and I'm like, "Psh, I could play here. What what are we talking about?" So I meet the people, I go back, I burn a mix CD, and I'm like, come back, like all green, like, "Hey, I'm new in town. Here's my mix CD. Will you listen to this?" They call me, they're like, "Yeah, come on down." Those guys end up becoming like my brothers too. So lucky, they own this one really super trendy, whatever, spot in Brentwood. They were opening 5 clubs in Hollywood at the same time,
Wow.
and they just were so kind to me. I'm talking like clubs, like the I I mean, the spots, and they were just like, "You're the guy." And I was working Tuesday through Sunday, every night, everywhere. And like, it was unbelievable exposure. I mean, look, I would love to say I manifested it. Again, I would say, look, I was practicing 1,000 hours a day. Same thing. I set up decks in the living room of the place I was living on the sofa, and everyone would just come hang out. And for hours, I would just sit there and just scratch and play and do all the things. And people, it just became like I was just the person constantly practicing. And met those guys, and those guys were unbelievable. They literally were like, "You're the guy. Every music decision goes through you. We want you to be the guy, period." And they just kept opening spots and kept opening spots, and then they were just really great to me.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, I feel like your career started way, before you decided to be a DJ, just, from studying drumming.
There's some sort of divine plan, obviously, in all the things, but I do feel I feel like I've been very lucky to meet wonderful people at every juncture that may have seen something in me that I didn't see, and were so kind enough to go, "We got this thing. We want you to be a part of it."
And you're a professional. I have to say that, something that I really admire and why I started this podcast was to talk about like creatives, entrepreneurs, business, because with you, anytime I've worked with you, you've always been super professional. You're on time, you show up, you do the job, you're not drinking or drink, like whatever. I mean, maybe you'll have a cocktail once in a while, but you're very professional. You're very professional. And
I
I
try to be.
and I think that's super important in our industries, no matter what it is, if you're a
Mhm.
coach or a musician or a DJ or, a business owner.
When you're in the creative side, you definitely have to have a little bit more discipline, and you have to invest in the discipline, the professionalism, because you're your own boss, you're your own barometer, you're the person. You letting somebody down, you're letting yourself down. So you have to really you have to be that personal coach, that personal, like, you shouldn't be doing that. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you got to keep yourself in check.
So for DJs out there who are looking to level up their DJ business career, what is something that's so important to keep at the forefront of the mindset of maybe not so much like post every day on Instagram, but just like you have to have the right
Sure.
mindset.
I mean, look, there's a lot of like that advice that is very like obvious and apparent with all the like social media and da, da, da. But I do believe like when you love something and you really work at it, like not when anyone's watching, you're doing the the real work, not the 15 seconds on the internet work. That's the work that it reverberates much louder and attracts things to you that are way more powerful. I'm like the worst on social. I literally, my friends joke that I post like twice a year. It's like and that's a lot. But I'm a huge fan of the silent work. Like, what are you doing when nobody's watching that you're really so when those moments come up, when you play, like, all of that work synthesizes into that one moment. So I would definitely say get really good and really love it, and ask yourself, "Do you really love it?" And if you don't really love it, maybe it's not for you. If you're here for, like, that quick accolade or that quick sugar high of, like, just so you can get a picture of yourself behind the decks and do a thing, I can't imagine you working for particularly long. But if you really, really love it, I think that things just align. It just I can't explain it, but when you work really, really hard and you really, really focus, magic shows up.
Absolutely. Manifesting is magic. It's like there's no real equation because
Mhm.
it's almost spiritual, right? So I want
Oh,
to talk
very.
so I want to talk a little bit, Mo, about your music in terms of the soundtracks and working in film. I mean, we met a long time ago, but
Mhm.
one of the coolest projects that we were able to work on was the Academy screening for Shaquille O'Neal whenever he did the Killer Bees
Oh, cool. Yeah, 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 that was great.
Killer Bees documentary screening. So I want to talk to you about that experience whenever you created the soundtrack for that documentary. Can you just walk me through the
Sure,
process?
absolutely. A really good friend of mine, Patrick Belton, is a music supervisor that I've worked with. Great, great, great guy. He was the soup on Killer Bees. And they were looking for a real specific sound for that movie. They wanted it to be like experimental, dark, a little edgy, think like early DJ Shadow, but kind of meets experimental noise stuff. And I was like, I mean, I'm a huge basketball fan, and I was like, this was like dream project of dream projects. He connected to the directors. It's a set of brothers, and I wrote them a couple of demos, and they were totally transparent. They're like, just so you know, we're talking to like 4 or 5 other composers for this. So I wrote a bunch of music for it. I sent it. They really liked it. And they got back to me. They're like, yeah, we really like it. We just want you to know. And in that moment, I literally was like, I had to have like a come to Jesus moment with them. And I was like, no one is going to do this movie better than me. This is, you are, you are not going to find someone who genuinely loves basketball and genuinely loves this music more than me. And they were like, that's it. You're the guy. And it was the absolute funnest, greatest, like, they gave me so much freedom. I got to do so much cool stuff. Got to bring in my friend Matt, who's a trumpet player, and he became the voice of we because we were going to do an all instrumental project. We didn't want to work with singers, anything. We really wanted it to be more atmospheric. But in having him come in, we decided that the trumpet would be the voice of the basketball players. So he became kind of our lead voice. And it was just so great. Got to go to the premiere in on the East Coast. Shaq was there. Jimmy Fallon was there. It was just a dream, total dream experience. And it was so great that you got to work on the party here.
That was cool. I love my picture with Shaq. He's like 10 times bigger than I am.
Big dude. It's a big dude.
It was lovely, and that was super fun. As far as like your DJing and your music creation for films and for TV, and then your creative directing, like how do you balance it all? Like, how, I mean, you are incredible. You DJ at
You're
night and
very
then get up
kind.
and, yeah, like how do you balance it?
I feel pretty lucky in that I feel they all kind of wash each other's hands. You know what I mean? Like, and then I don't stay in one pocket for too long. Like, I get to do this kind of really fun music thing over here, and then, well, can you help us with this art thing over there? I'm like, yeah, I'd love to. And then, well, can you play this event? I don't view it as chaotic. I could totally understand why other people would be like, aren't you tired? But I mean, I feel very lucky. The fact that the phone rings and people are like, we'd like you to do this thing. I'm like, yeah, I'll be there. I just feel very lucky. And look, I think that having a couple of different things, like a different brushes to use, you get to stay fresh. I get to be a better composer because I'm coming from the DJ world, which, as you know, just gives you an edge. You can listen to something and in 5 seconds be like, that's not it, or that's it. You just That's a super edge of mine in terms of like for composing, especially when it's for more modern projects. And they're like, "Is this cool?" I'm like, "That's not cool at all. Like, do not use that." Like,
Mo,
I,
I feel you, Mo. I totally hear and feel you because when I am watching a movie, a TV show, and they have a club scene and they're playing some track that would never be played in a
never
club
like the
ever.
worst song ever. You're like, this is not a club that exists in the world.
Exactly. And I am just like, wow, the music supervisor, whoever's in charge, A, has never been to a club, and B, just doesn't know what they're doing.
But
Just
on the flip side, when you watch, I watched a couple of episodes of that JFK show. Whoever did the sound, whoever's the soup on that, demolishing, just crushing on every level. Like that was maybe the first thing I noticed. I'm like, these choices are money in the bank. Like everything is so well put together. When the music hits in a visual project, it's just like, it's really one of my favorite things to see the marriage of music and film together when it's all really right. Whew, I
it's
really enjoy
magic.
that.
It's magic for sure. It's total magic. It just elevates the picture. They put so much work into these movies and these TV shows, and when the music is on point, it just elevates the whole
Seals the
project.
deal.
Yes, seals the deal, exactly. Mo, I'm curious, can you explain to me a little bit about like what a day looks like for you, what a week looks like for you? I know you just recently did the Academy Awards, you DJ'd it. Amazing. Like I know you had a rehearsal and then you had the show and then like can you just kind of walk me through a week in the life of Audio Mo?
It's a look. I really week over week, it's a different ball game. Like it just, I'm pretty project oriented, so I don't have like a 9 to 5 setup. So each day really does look like its own thing. But on in a given week, I will have DJ'd, probably shot something, shooting, designed a bunch of stuff for Level 8. I also now work with Lucia, doing a lot of stuff for them, which is another really great spot on Fairfax. Worked on a trailer. Like it's just week over week. It's 2 days aren't the same. For something like, let's say, the Oscars, you're blocked out. From that week is pretty much they own you for the week. They're like everything from kind of getting the show together, working out all your cues, fitting, running. You run through the show like 5 times before anybody sees it.
Wow.
So that week would be different than any other week. But for the most part, like there's no duplicate weeks in the month. Like this week, this was like a decompression week from the Oscars. I'll be in Miami next week for family. The week after that, I'm going to Michigan to play. I have an artist that I'm producing. He's great. Check him out, Shabaka Kush. And we're gonna go play a
Wow.
bunch of shows in Michigan. So like, I do the music for him. I do a lot of beat producing for him. I have a lot of musician friends that I love. I don't beat produce as heavily as I used to because that's a whole universe of its own. But I definitely, when I come across artists that I really like, I love to work with them. Especially, I also have a real passion for mixing and mastering. I love engineering music. Like that's become like a huge love of mine. So I even love it if a friend of mine plays me a song. I'm like, that's really great. Let me push that over the edge for you. Let me get it to like that point where it really knocks in the speaker. So yeah, I'm always trying to keep it interesting. Like I'm trying to keep myself interested. You know what I mean? I always want to work on creative things that interest me, people that interest me. I love working with people. I like watching other people's creative projects come to fruition and just being the cog in their machine to help them out.
What sign are you?
Capricorn.
Oh,
I don't know a lot, but apparently I'm very Capricorn. So I hope I didn't do it. Did I? It was the wrong answer.
it's a good thing. Capricorns are great at business, and that's good that, you have that business part of you as well as a creative part of you, and I love astrology. It's fun to dabble in and all the things. So my question to you as we're about to wrap up, Mo, is what are you designing to manifest next? Like what's on the horizon for 2026?
God willing, I'm actually going to be playing the Tonys. So that'll be my EGOT. So I'm working on that. Um,
Wait a second. Can you just explain what does that mean?
an EGOT is an Emmy a Grammy, an Oscars, and a Tony. So like the big four. So I've played two. I'm supposed to play the Tonys this summer, so that'll be three. So now I just got to play the Emmys.
Amazing. Okay, so we're all gonna send the good vibrations for
And all
that.
the good juju.
Yes.
And just try to be involved in as many creative projects as I can that I believe in, that are inspiring to me. Working on friends up with their TV shows. I'm working on just bumping into creative people and doing cool things.
And can you share a little bit about the artist that you've been working with and producing?
Yeah, unbelievable. His name is Shabaka Kush. He's a Sudanese artist and strong activist, really has a powerful message. There's a really crazy situation happening out there. And he's really getting the attention of some pretty big stages, and his message is cutting through. And he's been a very good friend of mine before all that. We've worked on a lot of stuff. I've shot his music videos and produced songs for him, but he's just a brother in arms, you know what I mean? And I believe in him and I believe in his message. So just trying to be a part of that creative movement.
And as we're moving more into this age of the entrepreneur, AI, like all of the other things, like I feel like you can't just do one job anymore because those single jobs might be able to be taken over by a computer, like whatever, we don't know. So, for you being a creative and entrepreneur, like what could be your advice to people who are creatives? Like you wear many different hats. So, what could be your advice to them?
I mean, explore all avenues. If it interests you, like turn that rock over. Like, I think for me, it's not really work. Like, I genuinely love all these things. So by default, I have like multiple revenue streams or whatever, however you want to say it. But like, those are genuine. Like, these are just things I love to do. But if you're asking in concern of it with AI and what do we do, and I'm just this one person, there's your one thing can be three things and you don't even know it. I would definitely say don't be afraid of AI. AI is a paintbrush. AI, if you use it ethically and you're just using it as like a third arm for what you do, it can be a really, really helpful tool. And just don't be afraid of it. Find the version of it that works for you. And find also what makes you unique. Make yourself to a degree AI proof. What's so good about what you do? Like I know people who are incredible songwriters and I've heard their songs and I can hear an AI song and I'm like, I know why that song is better. I just know why that song is better. But if that person wants to maybe just use AI to create a drum loop or something, I'm creating like whatever, just an example. But basically, don't be afraid of it. Use it to your advantage and then really find what's unique about you that makes you singular and invest in that.
Very smart advice. Very smart advice. Loved that we had this opportunity to connect, and I would love for more people to connect with you. Can you just give us, your website, your social, like how people can reach
Sure.
out?
Audiomo, AUDIOMOE, everything. That's just the whole kit and caboodle.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much again. It's been such an honor to hear your journey and your path. And for me, I think the one thing that I really got from this is that if you love something, just keep doing it, like no matter what it is. Fully immerse yourself into it, and the doors will open if you give yourself completely and totally to it.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for having me. And I love you. And everyone should know that she's amazing and such a good connector and such a wonderful champion of art and music. And thank you for having me on your pod.
I'm a Libra. We got to make the world beautiful.
I don't know what that means, but I'm going to go with it.
Thank you so much, Mo. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for joining me on Design to Manifest. Each week, I feature extraordinary people living extraordinary lives who have designed the life they are meant to manifest. Sometimes intentionally, and sometimes unexpectedly, they share how success and purpose can unfold in ways they never imagined. If this episode inspired you, please share it with someone who might also be inspired, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode.